Meet the woman who's being treated as India's most wanted criminal. 3 central agencies, from the CBI to the Enforcement Directorate and the Narcotics Bureau, are now investigating her as accused number 1. Arrest Rhea are trending hashtags. She's being called a witch and much more. But what does the 28-year-old woman at the center of India's most sensational media trial have to say? What is her side of the story? Joining me tonight is Rhea Chakrabarti. Rhea, you've heard this introduction that I've just said. You're accused number 1 in India's most sensational case at the moment. It's like we have nothing else to worry about. Sushant Singh Rajput's father today said you murdered his son. Your reaction to that?
I mean, it's extremely hurtful that someone who's going through a loss this big, as am I, does not understand what this could be doing to me. I loved his son. And it's just beyond me to understand that, is there no humanity? I looked after his son. At least have the humanity. If you don't like me as his girlfriend, at least have the humanity that now that he's passed, respect his love for me, if not mine for him.
Mm-hmm. You know, Rhea, in a sense, you can put down Sushant's family, their characters to their grief. But what's actually now become the huge issue is the fact that today a senior BJP leader said that the anti-terror agency, the NIA, should investigate your role in this case. As I said, we've already got the CBI, the ED, the Narcotics Bureau investigating your role in this case. It's almost, I mean, I think there were similar cases when there were fugitives, or as Swara Bhaskar said today, Kasab wouldn't have been treated like this. What would you say today, you're 28, when you are being investigated by 3 central agencies? What's your reaction to that?
It's really difficult. Me and my entire family are going through scrutiny every day. Today there was a mob at my doorstep. My father was harassed, he was touched, he was hit. My watchman was beaten up in my building, inside the premises. They are not just harassing me, but the entire people living in the society. Tomorrow, they might ask us to leave. What are you doing to this family? I would like to ask everybody this question. What are you doing to this family? We are being grilled. We are being part of every investigation. We are doing all our duties as law-abiding citizens. But why can't you wait for the result to come? And if you don't have faith in the legal system, you should leave India. Because I do. And my family does. And that's why we're still alive, or we would have committed suicide too. With the kind of allegations and the accusations treating me worse than a terrorist. My father served the nation for 25 years as an army officer. And you are treating this family like we are terrorists, when all we did was love a boy.
Rhea, already you've seen the reactions to your interviews have come that your interviews are PR interviews, they're soft interviews. The fact is this interview is going live right now. We're not editing anything. But the allegation being that you're using this for public sympathy. Why have you decided to speak out today? Do you think you're going to be arrested tomorrow?
No, I don't think I'm going to be arrested tomorrow, because I have not done anything worthy of being arrested. But I feel the need to speak because my mother is now on the verge of a mental breakdown completely. She might have to be moved to the hospital. My family is breaking. My father is being pushed around and almost physically and mentally lynched at. I have to do this for them. What about my family? What about what we are going through? And I didn't speak for so many days out of respect for Sushant. And what was being said was so absurd that it irked me, it hurt me, that they are destroying his memory. They're destroying him. Have respect for the person who's gone at least. At least fact check.
You said
what is up with journalists in this country? It's dead.
You said just now, Rhea, that your family and you often consider or think that maybe you should just commit suicide. Now, that's a very strong thing to make. It's something which shouldn't be said lightly. Why are you saying something like that? Is it something to gain sympathy? What are you going through right now?
I'm just broken, and I'm trying to find strength every day for me and my family. The only reason we're still alive is because I'm speaking the truth. the kind of mental, emotional, physical pressures on us are unbearable. Any other person going through such a situation or any other family might consider the same. It's unfair, it's unjust, it's without proof. And the whole nation seems to have decided what they have decided. Based on what? Based on a few false allegations, based on a few reports saying absurd things.
Well, you know, Ria, I think the main point is that what's got lost in this was the tragic death of a young man, but also why the nation is because of the fact that the Bihar government got involved in this. The Bihar government, the Supreme Court agreed for a CBI probe. The fact that agencies, and I have this with me, are leaking documents, are showing WhatsApp messages of you with people who they say are talking about drugs, with alleged drug dealers, according to the agencies. So now you've got the Narcotics Control Bureau involved. What would you say with these WhatsApp messages which apparently show you talking to a dealer about get me MD, talking about weed, etc.?
I have never spoken to a dealer in my life. I have never taken drugs in my life. I'm willing for a blood test. I deny all these allegations, and I would like to save the rest for when the investigation takes place, because anything I say will get misconstrued.
But as these WhatsApp messages show, and you said Sushant was taking drugs or he was having weed.
Yes, it's unfortunate that we have to speak about him in this light, but it's not been done by me. The Pandora's box has been opened by his family. They have put these allegations. I wanted his memory to be pristine and beautiful because he was a beautiful boy. But in turn, these allegations are being put on me. And the fact remains that yes, Sushant used to smoke marijuana. And I tried my best to control him to make him stop. This was the only department where I was trying to control him in something. I was trying to make him reduce it, in fact. And I have been put in a position where, unfortunately, every single private detail of my life or my friends' lives, a simple I am sorry is taken and blown out of proportion, and me being treated like I'm worse than a terrorist, my family's mental health being destroyed. This is like the systematic breakdown of an entire family.
But in a sense, Ria, did it begin when you first tweeted to the Home Minister of India asking for a CBI probe into it? Did you actually open that Pandora's box in a sense yourself? The fact that the Supreme Court has accepted, and I again want to read out, they said that the Bihar FIR should be investigated, which includes the claims of Sushant Singh's father, where he says in his FIR that when you left on June the 8th, you had taken cash, jewelry, laptop, credit card. You were handling his bank account from which crores of rupees were withdrawn, that you had threatened to show doctor receipts to the media and prove that Sushant Singh was mad and then no person would give him work, and that on June 8th, Sushant's secretary Disha committed suicide. You had appointed her as a secretary, you blocked Sushant's number, and Sushant was afraid that you would frame him in Disha's suicide. These are the Bihar FIR based on his father's complaints.
Man, they're completely baseless. And they are worse than rumors. I never took a single rupee from Sushant. My bank statements are there. I'm already being probed by ED. This 15 crores they're talking about does not exist now that Sushant's bank statements are out there. It's a very big amount. It would have been found. It cannot be hidden. It can't disappear into thin air. We had a company together where we were equal partners, where we all gave 33,000 each. No transaction was ever made in that company. I was not isolating Sushant. He met his family on several occasions in November. In January, he in fact went to Chandigarh to his sister and brother-in-law O.P. Singh's house. He came back from there. Why did they let him come back if they think I was isolating him? In February, they met him again in Mumbai, where they're sitting in a cafe, having food and smiling at each other. Why were they making these complaints about me, saying, get that girl and whack her? That was the message to a senior cop in Mumbai police by Sushant's brother-in-law. Why were they making that and this? It doesn't make sense to me. If you thought that you had your brother-in-law, you had Sushant sitting with you at a cafe, you should have told him what you felt. You should have taken him back with you.
Why did you tweet the Home Minister asking for a CBI inquiry? Do you think there was foul play in Sushant's death? Do you think he was murdered? Why did you do that?
I was not there from the 8th to the 3rd to the 14th. I want to know what happened in that 1 week, whether it was suicide, whether it was murder. If it was suicide, what drove him to that point? Because he always told me that he would never take such a drastic step. And that's what shakes me. And that's why I want India's apex institution, which is CBI, to come and investigate this. And I asked for CBI inquiry before the Bihar FIR. Well, long before the Bihar FIR. I don't know how people have turned this around and made this that I don't want CBI. I have faith in CBI. I have faith in the government. And that is why I'm still alive.
In fact, it's not just about people when you say generally, it's become a huge political issue. You mentioned also in your statement in the Supreme Court that this has become about politics. There's a Bihar election coming up. There's also the fact that you have political party leaders targeting the Maharashtra government, targeting Minister Aditya Thackeray, saying that he's linked to this case in some way, and that's why the Mumbai police was going soft on you.
The Mumbai police never went soft on me. They were in fact extremely harsh. That was one harsh investigation. ED was another. CBI is going to be another harsh investigation. And each investigation takes away a part of my mental health. Because to the world, it's like, investigation karo, investigation karo. Yes, I want the truth to come out. So I'm cooperating, but not by targeting me. And I have been the center and the person who was most questioned in all of these investigations. And as much as I want to know the truth, I don't understand why nobody's questioning the fact that his sister, Meetu, was there from the 8th to the 13th. She left on the 13th. If she felt his mental health was not okay, if she felt that he was upset because of me or because of Disha Salian, then why did she leave?
Do you feel, because at that point when you're saying the Mumbai police went into this completely different thing where they were interviewing members of the film industry on issues of nepotism and whether he felt bad of being left out or sidelined from the film industry. That was one completely different investigation. Now you've been questioned by the ED. What is the ED focus on with you? Because also the agencies are leaking stuff which seems damaging to you as well. Reports of a car flat that has been bought, which is not clear where the source of money is. The fact that you're being investigated for money laundering is a very different investigation from the Mumbai police.
It's really sad. My entire WhatsApp chats, anything and everything is out there. It's only been given to all the agencies. I have not given my phones anywhere else. And it's really sad that I have no privacy left. My friends' numbers are being flashed on TV. I am being accused of everything under the sun, and nobody is asking me what really happened. And that's why today I feel it's time for me to speak up, because this one-sided narrative has completely destroyed every single person in my house.
In fact, your father was at the ED the whole day today, your brother's at the CBI. So your brother, many have asked why a company was set up with Sushant, you and your brother. Your father, you said, is a retired army surgeon. He's being questioned by the ED. Your lockers will be opened. What was the ED interrogation of you like and of your family?
They want to know every financial detail, and we are happy to provide that. There's absolutely no problem in cooperation. I'm more than willing to cooperate with every investigation agency who wants to investigate any matter with me. But all I ask for in the meantime is for a fair trial by the media, by the people, to just have faith and wait, because in turn you all are really breaking down a simple, innocent, middle-class family, a man who served the nation as well.
A simple, innocent, middle-class family. But Riya, the portrayal is completely different. Tell us about Sushant and you. When you last saw him, when you first met him, did you ever think Sushant could take his own life?
Honestly, I still don't believe it, and I didn't think that such a thing would ever happen. He was absolutely the best guy. He was absolutely the most beautiful person I met in my life. He was intelligent, he was full of ideas and dreams, and he wanted to change the world for the better. He wanted to help children, he wanted to do charities, as he did a lot as well. He was extremely loving. He was the greatest boyfriend ever. He really looked after me. He gave me advice. In fact, if anything, I would take a lot of advice from Sushant on every single thing in my life, because he was ultimately also a star, and I was really proud of him for that. I was really proud of what he has achieved in his lifetime, and coming from a small town, and we bonded over this because I also grew up all over India while my dad was being posted in various places. I also come from a small town. I also am an outsider. I also am trying to make it in this industry, and we really bonded over these things. We have a friendship that is something spectacular, and this
Yet,
is actually a very, our relationship is actually something of the movies. It's something of a fairy tale. And yes, there were problems. Yes, he was going through
because in fact,
depression and anxiety.
No, because by going by your own statement, it's a relationship which began in April 2019, but very soon after that, mental health issues started coming up. Was Sushant first diagnosed when he was with you as being a bipolar, and very severe in terms of locking him up, staying away from meeting anybody? And at that time, and perhaps that's why his family is so upset with you, is that he had also cut himself off from his family completely and seemed to become very close to yours. The point I asked about the fact that your brother accompanied you on a Europe trip, the fact that your brother was in a company with him, why should that be, considering he would have been a recent friend of Sushant's, probably after he met you?
So Shobik and Sushant shared a lot of common interests, like playing sports. He was also, my brother was very inspired by Sushant. He was like a elder brother to him. He was like somebody who he aspired to be like. And if Sushant was interested in a certain subject, he would involve my brother in read about this, read about that. And when his dream project on this virtual reality company was to start, he wanted partners, and naturally the first best choice for him were me and my brother, as he was already discussing all these things with my brother about artificial intelligence and virtual reality, and he was teaching us all these things. He was giving us assignments to do, in fact, and there was no financial transaction. So if people see it in that angle that, oh, it was for money, and just because it's a company, the word everyone thinks is money, money, money. That's not the case. All we did was start the company, which requires a very little amount of financial investment by partners equally. And unfortunately, none of that work really kicked off. Unfortunately, none of those projects came to life. But there was really no other agenda or anything to it. In fact, we wanted Sushant to achieve his dreams. He had 150 dreams, and one of them was to create free education for children. One of them was to create something on artificial intelligence that could help children learn better and study better. And I did everything in my capacity to help.
But Ria, when I said it does, you said that it was like a movie, but the fact is it ended on a sour note when, in a sense, as you said, Sushant asked you to leave his house. He didn't contact you after that except once. He actually cut off all ties with you. Their messages then with film director Mahesh Bhatt and you, where in a sense you said you've left. Mahesh Bhatt says, think of your father, child. So it ended on an extremely sour note. It didn't end with any kind of fairy tale ending on a happy note. So in a sense, you were completely estranged then. Why did that happen if things were going so well?
Ma'am, honestly, even in Jan 2020, he had asked me to leave once, and his explanation then was that he's moving to Pavna. And then the very next day, he called me back, and I went back. And I probably thought that this could be one of the same, because in June 2020, he was planning to shift to Coorg. And he was planning to make a move there, and he had even contacted his lawyers and asked Siddharth Pitani to find a house for him there. And this time around again, he was asking me to leave, and I thought he'd call me back like he normally does. But the next day, for 24 hours, he didn't. And even when he messaged me, it was about how I'm doing, but nothing about him wanting me back. And naturally, if you are caring for someone and you love someone so much and they ask you to leave, you do feel upset. You do feel like, why does he not need me anymore? Does he not want me anymore? These are insecurities. As a girl, any girl can understand that if your boyfriend or partner asks you to leave all of a sudden, and you have been there for him in every capacity, and you all have an amazing relationship, you will be upset. And Hence, I did block him. And the next day, I was completely broken because even the next day, he messaged my brother. And it had no mention of him wanting me back. It just had a message saying, take care of her and how is she doing, and you take care and you take care. And that was very rare. Sushant would never do that. He would always want me back. And I knew that his sister was there. I knew that they would be more comfortable, his sister and him, without me and without my presence. And I didn't know what could be the reason why he didn't want to see me. And of course it hurt me, and of course it made me realize that maybe he doesn't want me anymore. And it's unfortunate.
How severe was his depression at the time he was with you? Did you warn his family about it?
Yes, he was in fact in touch with his family all through his depression after we came back from the trip. In fact, on the trip, even from Italy and Vienna, he had started contacting his father and his sisters to tell them that he's anxious and he's feeling that he's getting anxiety. In fact, after coming back, he was constantly in touch with them for 2 months before they came to Mumbai to visit him at Waterstones in November. They decided to leave the same night that they came to visit him, if they thought that I was not the right person in his life. In fact, when I met them in November when they came, I told them about all the medication, all the doctors. I handed over everything to them. But they left in the middle of the night. They left him in the middle of the night. And that's why I don't understand. I understand them not liking me because our relationships were strained from the beginning in April when his sister Priyanka tried to grope me in my sleep, and I told Sushant the next day, and they had an altercation of which chats are also out there, wherein his Sushant himself is saying that Priyanka has misbehaved under the influence of alcohol and molestation, and he's messaging his brother-in-law Siddharth, who's Priyanka's husband, saying that you know this about her, you know how she's manipulating this. In fact, they were out to do a case on him in those months, and I hope that those messages come out now that everything is coming out. They were out to do a case against Sushant in those months, and thereafter, even though his sisters came in November, I wanted him to be with his family because it was a serious issue.
But Ria, you paint a picture of a very different, an almost dysfunctional family. You've said that Sushant was in a sense estranged from his father. You said that his mother also suffered from the same issues. How did you know that? What is the proof you have of this, or how do you know this?
Ma'am, one that Sushant told me. Two, that in 2011, his sister Shweta Singh Kirti, who lives in the US, if I'm not wrong, put out a post on mental health on her Facebook account. You'll find it in public domain, about mental health, about how her mother was suffering, and about how she feels so strongly about it, how it runs in a family, it's a genetic thing, and how she wants to do something about mental health. She took it down from her Facebook page the day of the FIR in Patna.
In fact, she's also tweeted today saying that you shouldn't be given a platform, a national platform, to express your views. But the father seems to have reached out to Sushant again and again. He says you blocked him from actually contacting his son.
Sushant's father only messaged me once. That is when Sushant was in the hospital at Hinduja. He was admitted under Dr. Kersey. He wanted to get admitted himself. And as you know, since I am not his... legally at power to admit anyone forcefully, it had to be his own will and wish, which it was. His father had contacted Sushant as well as his manager Shruti as well as me, but it was one message to me, and so I told Sushant because I was there with him, and he called him the same day. You can check his call logs. He didn't want me to reply to him for some reason. What will you do if you're with your partner and they have something going on with their family that you don't completely understand, and they tell you you stay out of it, I'll handle it. And he spoke to his father on his own because his chat, Sushant's father's chat with Shruti, shows that he says, I have spoken to Sushant and you should book my tickets. But if you have spoken to Sushant, then Sushant should tell Shruti to book the tickets if that's what he wants.
Let's come back to that point I raised earlier. Why do you think the Bihar elections or Bihar politics has anything to do with this? And what do you know Aditya Thackeray? Have you ever met him? What is the whole Aditya Thackeray angle which keeps coming up connected to this case in you?
So there is a call log of mine that's leaked, which has a friend of mine, Anaya Udas's name, saved as AU. Her name is Anaya Udas, but they are representing it as Aditya Uddhav, which means Aditya Thackeray. I have never met or spoken or have the number of Aditya Thackeray. I only know him as all of you all know him on TV. I have no other political connections. I do not know anything about why this is happening and what the politics are involved. I just know that a simple family who has not done anything is being treated worse than a terrorist.
So when you heard today the BJP leader wants an anti-terror agency to investigate this, what's your reaction?
I'm shocked because I feel like this, like I've said this before, it's a breaking down of a family. Tomorrow, if something happens to us, and it's not because we've done anything, but it's because it's tremendous pressure. There is media outside who are screaming all kinds of names. There are false allegations every day. A new accusation or an allegation is made by the family to me. Sometimes it's about being a murderer. Sometimes it's about being a thief. Sometimes it's about something. Sometimes it's about drugs. And I'm not getting a chance because I am part of so many investigations right now, 3. There's ED, there's CBI and NCB. I mean, all I have left is my spirit, and that's being crushed too, ma'am.
In fact, you said that you were also, when you left on the 8th of June, Sushant died on the 14th of June. When you left on the 8th of June, you said you were going through panic attacks. You were going to have a therapy session as well at Sushant's house, but he said no, leave immediately. What actually, when you first heard that Sushant had died, what was your first reaction? What did you go through, and what are you going through right now?
And I heard from a common friend that such and such rumor is going on about him, and if you're with him, they assume that I was with him. Please tell him to put out a statement and squash this rumor. And that's when I realized that there's probably something weird here. And then soon later it was confirmed that it's true, and thereafter I was completely shattered. I was completely broken. My life has completely been taken away from me. The love of my life has been completely taken away from me. The health and the mental health of my family is completely destroyed. I mean, it just couldn't be worse for me. And the only thing that's giving me strength to go on is that I'm speaking the truth, and is that probably Sushant is here overlooking and helping me to get the truth out.
You weren't invited to the funeral. You couldn't see the man you says the love of your life. You weren't invited to his funeral, yet you went to the mortuary, and a lot has been made on the fact that you said there, sorry Babu, what were you sorry about? What went through your mind when you were there? You saw his body for I think just a few minutes.
And what will you say to someone who's lost their life, who you have loved dearly? I'm asking you, what would you say? I'm sorry you lost your life. I am sorry. It's the most basic human courtesy. His sister Shweta Singh Kirti had also put out a tweet or an Instagram post the day after Sushant passed saying, I'm sorry Babu, the same thing. And she said, I knew you were suffering. I know you were in pain. Again, she deleted that. Why is nobody asking these questions? And how is everything being misconstrued to this degree? A simple I am sorry is being misconstrued to this degree.
It seems, Ria, and again, I can imagine the tragedy of seeing someone you loved, his dead body, but it seems that every day a new layer comes out. You've seen now with this whole drugs angle coming out that actress Kangana Ranaut has tweeted that this happens in all big Bollywood parties, that there's drugs are freely available, that if you open it, the whole of Bollywood will be exposed, many A-listers. You've seen various other things saying clean up Bollywood. It's part of a larger nepotism. It's an industry which needs to be cleaned up, and Sushant was also a victim of that. What would you say as someone who's been part of the same system, someone who didn't achieve the success that, say, Sushant did or the bigger stars did, but who's part of the system? Do you think these are the realities of living in Bollywood today? Drugs, the failure, the endless stress on living up, whether you're a failure or a success is defined by your last movie.
It's definitely a very difficult industry to be part of. The ups are up and the downs are very down, and there's enormous pressure. And in Sushant's case, I would like to say this because I think it's very important that there were certain things that really affected him and that really affected his mental health and his mental sanity. And one of them was being falsely accused by the Me Too allegations, which were cleared up only and only much later. which seemed like an entire planned strategic move done to malign someone's reputation. And it really affected him because he was not that kind of a guy at all. I lived with him for a year and a half. He was the most polite, most gentle, most respectful human being and a man as to a woman. And this was being made from that Me Too movement, and his co-star Sanjana Sanghvi not clarifying it on time and then denying it later. He just felt that it was part of some larger nexus being done by a Rohini Iyer who pretends to be his friend, and all these blind articles that kept coming out each time he would speak to her. And he felt that there was someone behind this. I don't know who. He never mentioned to me who, but I have mentioned this to Mumbai Police. I have mentioned this to ED, and I will tell and mention this to the CBI as well. That also not being nominated for awards, not being nominated even though his films were outstanding and they did money as well, not being nominated, not his films being nominated, but him not being nominated, even though he was such a brilliant performer. Like shockingly great performances of his were not nominated even last year during Chichore and Son Chidiya. And that upset him. He felt that what is the point if nobody is going to take notice? And he was affected by that. And these things hurt him, these frivolous blind articles. And especially the Me Too allegation. The only reason I emphasize on this particular one is because even in May of 2020, he mentioned to me about that. He was scared that the film was releasing. So before the promotions, he wanted to get in touch with Sanjana Sanghvi to see which way she's going. Is she going to start this rubbish again? And he would often be scared of her. And that in the promotions, things again will be said about him, about Me Too. And these are the things that can affect someone's mental health. And today I understand. Today I completely understand because I'm going through the same thing as him.
Is this why drugs, when we talk about drugs, you'd mentioned that, so you said Sushant had taken weed. Of course, he's no longer here, so I mean, he can't defend himself about that. But is it true that drugs are prevalent in Bollywood? Is this something that you almost need to survive this kind of industry?
No, ma'am, absolutely not. I don't believe in that theory. But well, that's for the investigative agencies to decide.
Did you find, because we mentioned your chats with director Mahesh Bhatt, you of course had acted in his movie Jalebi also, but the fact that Alia Bhatt and this whole thing of this groupism, as we said, the Mumbai police first went on that angle, but this whole allegation of nepotism, the fact that there are certain camps in Bollywood, you were Yash Raj, even Sushant was Yash Raj, and the fact that he wasn't invited on Coffee with Karan or some silly game played by Alia Bhatt and Karan Johar is something that hurt him so deeply he couldn't recover from that depression. Is that true?
Ma'am, I personally feel that the Me Too allegations is what started the pain and stress and pressure to Sushant. And he did feel someone was behind it. He did feel that it was strategically done. But he always just said them. And I don't know who those people are. But he always felt that behind a Sanjana Sanghvi, there would be someone else.
Mm-hmm. When you look, do you wish today that you had never met Sushant Singh Rajput?
No, ma'am. Even today, even despite what me and my family are going through, I would have never done anything else but love him the way I did, and I continue to love him that way. Even though I'm going through all of this, it's his memories and his face that give me the strength to carry on. It's his voice in my head saying, don't let them win. It's his voice in my head saying, you are strong, speak your truth, show them the real you. That keeps me going.
No, and in fact, Ria, I'm no one to judge you here. I'm a journalist and my job is to ask you questions. I don't want to judge you, and I definitely don't want to indict you to innocent, guilty. That's not my job. But the fact is, you've been judged already. You've been, the hashtags right now on other TV channels say arrest Ria Chakrabarti right now. You've been called Vish Kanya. You get rape and death threats. Do you feel that this is also happening because you're a woman? I mean, there's so many other cases we've covered. The last time I saw this was in the Arushi trial when I saw her parents being hounded in a similar way, a CBI case which dragged on for years and then no real outcome. Do you worry that something like that is going to happen to you? What would you say about the attack which is being made on you?
Just because I was his girlfriend, just because I was less successful than him, that makes me a gold digger or an exploiter for my career. Just because I was looking after him, because he was here alone, people have made stories that I was doing this to him on purpose. Why would I do this to him on purpose when I'm doing a film with him post the lockdown? He's the best boyfriend to me. He loves me. Why would I do something like this? These allegations are made because हाँ गर्लफ्रेंड है उसी ने किया होगा. Girls are manipulative. Bengali girls are do black magic. उसकी औकात क्या है to be with a star like him? It's really sad that anytime anything happens to a man, the woman is blamed. If she's the girlfriend, if she's the bahu, the in-laws also often blame the bahu ki bahu theek se nahi kar rahi. And I thought that maybe in India today we would have moved away from these stereotypes and this unfortunate slander against women, but it continues. This is an absolute witch hunt. And me being Bengali is a cherry on the cake for them, because apparently all Bengali women do black magic. I don't understand this.
No, I don't understand that either, this black magic rubbish. And also the Bihar DGP said that. He said that about you, that iski aukaat kya hai, that she will say something about the Chief Minister of Bihar. What was your reaction when you heard that? What is Rhea Chakravarti's aukaat?
My aukaat is that Sushant loved me. Sushant Singh Rajput, who now everyone claims to love, loved me.
That's, I mean, I suppose that is great comfort for you. But Rhea, again, when we come back to what the family says, and just forget the family, because this is, I mean, again, they're grieving, so I don't want to get into the family and what they said specifically, but what the agencies are charging you with, what the investigation currently is on. It's not about a love story. It seems almost about it's a criminal story at the moment that is being investigated, very serious allegations. As I said, the 3 central agencies, it's taxpayers' money which is paying for this investigation into you, as I said, in a pace which we haven't seen in many cases involving bank scams, involving murders, involving young girls raped and murdered in various states. We won't see this kind of attention on it, but we see it right now on you.
I don't seem to understand why I am the center of this. I feel like it's partly because of this mentality that a girlfriend is manipulative, or there is a certain witch hunt mentality that goes around in this country. And it's partly because his family has made all these false allegations. And it's just sad to me that collectively all of this is, I never thought the world could be this sick. I never thought that humanity could be shredded to this degree, that people can't see through false stuff, people can't see through made up news, and people have to continue believing all the gossip. And I mean, they've made my life like a soap opera. Like it's no less than watching a Saas Bahu show on prime time television on news channels today. No proof, just baseless allegations, morphing random people who were not in his life, taking statements from here and there. Everyone's become the judge and the jury. I mean, I humbly appeal to all the women who've ever lost a loved one in their life, whether it's a husband or a son or a boyfriend or a brother, that just because you were in their life, you were not the cause. But you in fact, probably were the caregiver.
In fact, the people who have come out against you strongest are women, Rhea. You've got Ankita, his ex-girlfriend, who's come out very strongly saying that when he was with me, there was never any thoughts of suicide. He was not depressed at all. In fact, you talked about how he had a medicine he took on flights. She's tweeted pictures of him on a simulator saying he loved flying. Sushant's sisters have also led the charge against you, Kangana Ranaut as well.
That's why he wanted to learn how to fly, so that he doesn't feel the claustrophobia and he doesn't have to ever sit in the back as a passenger. She wouldn't know that because she was not in his life for the last 4 years. She had no communication with him. Yet Miss Ankita Lokhande goes ahead and makes statements that Sushant told her that I was harassing him. But when did you speak to him that he told you all of this? How can you make the statement when you haven't spoken to him? And the next statement is that I haven't spoken to him. So you haven't spoken to him, yet he told you somehow. Ma'am, do people not see through this? Do people not see that she's lying? Is it not quite clear?
What about other women who have spoken out against you? Because as I said, it's not just about the men, but what about other women who have spoken out against you?
And I mean, even with Ankita, I would expect that she probably did love him at some point, and she should have understood the kind of pain that I am going through. She should have actually reached out to me instead of going and talking all kinds of lies about me. And even with other women, I don't know how and why they believe all these stories. I just want to ask one question. What if this was happening to you? What if this was happening to your daughter? What if this was happening to your best friend, your sister? Would you still be part of this witch hunt?
Mm-hmm. The fact that you've even taken on, in a sense, indirectly, the Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar, saying, why is it happening on the eve of elections? Do you think this has become about an election issue? Do you think the death of Sushant is now all about politics and not about Rhea Chakrabarti and what actually happened?
It's really sad that Sushant's death has become a spectacle. They are just destroying his memory. This is not the way he should be remembered. This is not the way he did amazing things in his life. These are not the images of his that should be circulating. If you consider yourself a fan of Sushant, how can you circulate such painful images of him out there? And I understand you want justice for him. So do I. I asked for the CBI inquiry before you. Even I want to know what happened between the 8th and the 14th. Even I do. But does that mean I am wrong? Just because I was his girlfriend? I don't understand the mentality. I don't understand the absurdity of it. I don't understand why anyone can't see through it.
What do you think, Rhea? You lived with him for 1.5 years in the weeks before his death, though you left on the 8th of June. What do you think killed Sushant Singh?
Ma'am, I really want to know. I really want to know that what happened in that last 1 week, whether it was a suicide, whether it was something else. And I'm happy that a top agency like CBI is involved, because there are so many conspiracy theories and so many rumors going on about this that they will finally be able to clarify that.
Rhea, as we end this interview, I want to ask you the 3 main charges again, so it's very clear what your stand is in it. First charge, you took money from Sushant Singh Rajput. He funded your family. He was financing a movie for you. You were with him because of that, and that's the reason the money laundering is the real issue here.
Absolutely not. I didn't take a single rupee from Sushant. No money was ever transferred from Sushant's account to me or any of my family members' accounts. We loved each other. We lived as girlfriend, boyfriend, and we lived together. There were probably a few things he bought me from Zara, etc., which are now in the public domain, as did I buy him. But I mean, other than that, our relationship was not a financial relationship. We were in love just like any other normal couple. We lived together, and that's about it. I don't know how this has become a financial exploitation angle. And please tell me which gold digger shops at Zara. Please do.
Second charge, you poisoned him. You were controlling his drugs and his medication. You cut him off from his old staff. You cut him off from his old friends.
Ma'am, firstly, Sushant had 5 doctors, and he had prescriptions. These are prescription medications that he would take on his own or ask anyone to give him if he was too low on a particular day. He had doctors visiting him. Everything was done under their supervision. They are top-notch doctors, not some random doctors. And there were 4 or 5 of them. Secondly, he stopped taking medication in Jan 2020 at his own will. If I was forcing him, I would have not let him stop. Thirdly, in June, when he spoke to Dr. Kersey Chawda on June 3rd, and Dr. Kersey Chawda sent a prescription again, he did not take those medications. And fourthly, poison him. This is the most bizarre and sad and pathetic accusation to make on someone who loves someone. Mm-hmm. And based on what? Based on what? What is this based on?
Do you think, Rhea, the Sushant you knew could have taken his own life? But do you think Sushant actually died by suicide?
Ma'am, I really want to know. I really want justice for Sushant. If there is anything that's absurd and wrong, and if there is foul play, then I want justice for Sushant. If this is suicide, and what are the causes of that, I want justice for Sushant. That's why I want to know what happened from the 8th to the 13th, while his sister Meetu Ji was there, while other people were there in the house. What transpired in that week that led to this? Even I want to know the same question that all of India is asking. I'm asking the same question.
But do you think the man you knew could have done this? There's so many misconceptions of mental health. In fact, one of the biggest casualties is how people are talking about mental health. Do you think people feel it's a sign of weakness, that somebody who seems happy, we've seen the videos of him with his family and his sisters in those months, that someone who seems happy can't do this? Do you think he could have done this?
You know, unfortunately, people judge depression and anxiety and mental health so poorly and so badly that the person suffering from it and their support group find it really difficult. Because they can't communicate, because they can't openly tell people. Because when he would tell people that he was suffering from depression, they would often turn around and saying, it's your karma, or you're just doing this for attention, or some rubbish like that. So the person going through it does feel very misunderstood, and that is a very big reason probably why people in depression commit suicide. In Sushant's case, I really don't understand why he would do something like this. Yes, he was going through depression and anxiety, but he was really fighting hard, and he was getting better, and he was better many a times. Yes, his condition had worsened during the lockdown, but I really don't know what happened in those 7 days. Even if he were to take some step like this so drastic, there would have had to be a reason. And contrary to what people believe, that if someone is depressed, they don't smile and they don't laugh, that's not true. That's not true.
Finally, Riya, as we end this today, I said it before, there are reports that you could be arrested as soon as tomorrow. We don't know that, but if you're arrested tomorrow, what would you like to say today to the people who are watching this, the people who don't know you but have formed conceptions about you? What would you like to say to the people who are watching this? And what would you like to say perhaps to Sushant's family, who've also lost a loved one? They've lost their son and their brother.
I would ask his family to have some humanity, have some sympathy, and even if you don't like me, don't destroy me and my family, and I will not let you win. Because I am speaking the truth, and the truth will prevail, and I will make sure, even though I break every second and you break every member of my family emotionally and mentally, I will fight till my last breath until the truth comes out.
Riya Chakrabarti, and what would you say to all the media? What would you say to the media who are hounding you? What would you say to the media who prejudge this?
I would say, please don't be the judges. Let the law enforcement agencies do their job. Let the people being investigated do their job by providing the law enforcement agencies whatever they need. Have faith in the judiciary as I do, and please let me have a fair trial. Please don't make this a storyline that's completely baseless. Please be responsible, because this is about my life. This is about my family's life. And there are 4 people involved in this, me, my 3 family members. You might be the reason that their lives get completely destroyed.
Are you worried, Riya, about being arrested?
No, I'm not. I have not done anything. Why should I be arrested?
What would you say to all?
I am cooperating with all the investigative agencies, and I will continue to do so.
What would you say finally to all the people who are watching this?
I would say that there's always 2 sides to a story. You've been hearing one narrative and one story for the last several months. Please try and see the practicality and the logic of what I'm saying. Please try and understand that there could be no motive for me to do something like this to a guy I absolutely loved and I'm finding it difficult to live without. Please try and see through all the fake news and all this drama that's going on in this circus that they have created by destroying somebody's death and making it a very weird, bizarre situation. And please try and have some heart to see what me and my family are going through is very unfair.
Riya Chakravarti, thank you very much for speaking to NDTV. Thank you for taking all questions, and thank you for speaking to us live. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.